Hi, my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to show you how you can warp up an Inkle loom for tablet weaving for perfect tension on individual cards every time. As we know, as we tablet weave, we turn the cards and it builds up twist. Many people use fishing swivels to remove the twist. But say you are turning your border cards and the twist just builds up and builds up and builds up. And when you remove the twist, the tension becomes a lot looser than everything else. Well, how do you take care of that? I use what is called a taunt-line hitch. This little knot self-adjusts so that you can have perfect tension every single time on every single card. It's very effective on border cards. So, I'm going to show you how we can do this. What you're going to need are fishing swivels and a keyring. I put mine on a keyring because as you release the twist, then the threads attached to the swivel just transfers behind it. Just builds up behind the swivel. So as you release the twist while it's attached to the keyring, then it keeps that twist from transferring to the other side. I use 4 on a ring so I can easily figure out, say I've got one card in the middle of a design and it needs the tension adjusted. So I can then just go 4, 8, and then this would be 12. And I can figure out the 9 and 10, the 10 card, adjust that card quickly. You also need a simple crochet hook that can fit through your swivel. Mine is a US O, not 0, but O, or a 2.55 millimeter. I start with all the threads for 4 tablets already attached to my keyring and swivels. Starting is the hardest part. I have this peg attached to my homemade loom. You'll need to find some way to secure the keyring or swivel so you can take your card and warp your loom. See, I've got my card all ready to go. It's not a threaded in pattern, just a double face, so I don't need to worry about threading direction. I can adjust that after I've warped it. See, again, this technique is about perfect tension. So what I do is I take all the threads of my tablet between my fingers so that I can unravel them as I warp them up. And I put gentle pressure on each thread at the same time so that one thread of your card isn't suddenly looser than all the other threads. So let me warp this up really quick. Now that I'm back at the beginning, oops, I lost a string. Normally I would go back and retension it, but it's okay. This is just for a demonstration. You can see that my threads are longer than if I were to tie it straight to the fishing swivel or to the keyring. Quite a bit longer. I'd say you probably want to give yourself a good 2 to 3 inches extra on the end of your warp. It really just depends on how long you like your tails to be. These tails are too long. I'll probably cut them off. But I definitely was able to catch all the threads in my knot. So you've got your thread in your one hand, and you've got your keyring and swivels in the other. Take the end of your warp with the keyring hand. Take your crochet hook and thread the eye of the swivel. All right, now that that's secured, or through the swivel, this is the end of the warp. Pinch both threads and make a triangle. See the triangle? So the end of the warp goes over the tensioned part, and then kind of grab that and insert your crochet hook and pull those threads through. And we're going to do that same thing one more time. Put it over and pull the threads through. Now that's going to hold for a minute. You can let go, and then we're going to pinch that beginning of the knot, and we're going to tie behind the knot. So do the same procedure over, pull it through, and then tighten it up. You don't have to yank on this or pull it super tight. It's going to hold now that you've tied it and secured it. And it didn't matter what the tension was while tying, because now this will slide along the tensioned edge and be as tight or as loose as you want it to be. It just slides right across, and then through the friction of tying the knot, it holds it in place, even under a highly tensioned warp. Trust me, I'm a tight weaver. So let's try this one more time. I'll thread up a card really quick. Separate out my strings. This technique or securing of your threads will work for any design. Border cards and thread-in patterns, this is especially good to use for, or when you know for a fact you're not going to have pattern reversals, or you don't want pattern reversals like your border cards. You want your borders to be nice and smooth as you can get. Crochet hook helps with threading your cards here as well. So I'll warp this up. I'm going to spread the threads in my fingers and comb it through. I'm going to untangle it and get even tension before I even start tying the knot. You're probably going to have to change hands while you're doing the warp. See, I've got a tangle here. But that's not going to affect anything because I am removing that tangle, so it's not going to affect my tension because I am OCD about tension. So I started with my left hand and I switched up to my right hand, combed out that warp, and now I'm going to get my next swivel ready. This is another great thing about having the swivels on the key ring, because you're not trying to juggle both ends. The first tablet is holding the key ring. Is holding the threads on the ring, so all you have to do is get the next swivel ready. So grab my crochet hook, get a little closer, and we're going to thread the eye of the swivel. And then we're going to take the loose strings. We're going to pinch it. I only need to pinch it about an inch away. You don't want it close up to the swivel, because you need room to slide that knot, and if it's close up you can't move it. So about a thumb width is fine. Put the end of the warp over the tensioned part, pull it through, pull it over, put it through, and then pinch the knot itself behind the knot. We're going to do over and through again, and then gently tighten that up. Again, doesn't have to be super tight. And that's it. That's all you need to get perfect tension on your border cards, your thread-in patterns, or any design. I even do it on patterns where I'm not sure if it will untwist itself. This takes a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie, but if you have OCD like me about your thread tension, then this will cure that. So I just want to say thanks for watching and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.